Well guys, here we are, the first big free agent signing of the offseason. Dylan Cease, according to MLB.com, just inked a 7-year, $210 million contract with the Blue Jays. Now, off the bat, you're going to have some people that are going to raise their eyebrows at this, claiming it's a bit of an overpay. And I totally understand why. Dylan's ERA over the last 5 years reads like this: 3.91, 2.20, 4.58, 3.47, and 4.55. That seems like somebody prone to bouts of being relatively unreliable for long stretches of time, even if he's also managed to throw at least 165 innings every year in that span as well, with the K per 9 north of 10.5. But I actually don't think that this is a bad deal, and it's for 3 principal reasons. The first one comes down to raw stuff. His offerings really haven't diminished in quality over this half-a-decade span, with his fastball staying consistently in the mid-90s, along with the shapes and velocity of his other pitches being around the same year to year. This means that while there has been some variance in results, his general skills are consistent. The second is an aversion to giving up home runs, which is actually a really rare quality among guys who punch out as many as Cease does. This skill has been part of his toolbox really since 2021, as he has not given up more than 21 home runs in a season in that span, including a run of 3 straight with less than 20. This, to me, you would think would be predictive of a guy who should have less variance in his year-to-year results than more, as rising and falling home run rates account for a decent portion of guys who have massive year-to-year changes in ERA. Look at someone like Shota Imanaga, for example. The third, and to me, arguably most important, is that his advanced stats in both FIP and expected ERA haven't shifted much at all over the last half-decade. Even in the years he's been worse, the change wasn't nearly as stark as what appeared on the surface. This means he's doing everything he can to remain at the same level season to season, but is having some bad luck in terms of actual results. Part of this can be chalked up to the quirks of the relatively small sample size present in every roughly 30 to 32 start chunks, which can be seen well in a rising and falling BABIP. And another aspect, especially to do with 2025, concerns having some of the worst defense behind him, as among guys who threw at least 150 innings. His Padres' -5 fielding run value while he was on the mound was tied for 5th worst in all of Major League Baseball. All this leads me to say, I think that $30 million a year for 7 years for a guy who's about to turn 30 is a pretty fair deal, especially considering I think the Blue Jays could potentially get even more out of him with a couple tweaks from their staff, given his already high quality of stuff, and also just simply by putting a much better defense behind him, as Toronto had the best fielding run value among any team last year in the big leagues, at 45. For each free agent deal I evaluate over this offseason, I'd like to give a grade. For this one, I'd say a solid B+.
Alright everybody, if you made it this far, I appreciate you watching, and if you did, consider checking out any of these other videos on your screen right now for other content just like this. Also, if you ever see anything you'd like to see me detail in the video, feel free to reach out to my email, basebpoet@gmail.com, and if I end up using your idea, I'll give you a shout out. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day.